Yeah, it says this meeting is being recorded. Okay, that's good.
Pleasure
Okay, let
meeting
me
you,
just turn
Boris.
this one. Hmm?
A pleasure meeting you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, brother. Yeah, I'm looking forward to your session.
I'm excited and I'm scared at the same time. I wrote down all these questions, I don't know, man. I never done this before, and I
Yeah, that's
know
good.
but
I'm
at the
glad you.
same time, Boris, I
Yeah,
know it was orchestrated by my guides because they know how I am. Like when I go to the supermarket to buy something, say my wife says buy some tortillas, there's 100 different tortillas, so I have to go in to every tortilla practically, right, and just thoroughly look and see what the best is, the healthiest, where I'm
right.
impressed, because I have this issue, man, where I'm not impressed with a lot of things. Like when I used to go see music, the headliner, I wasn't there to see the headliner, I was there to see the opening act. They had more talent as far as what I felt and what
Mhm.
resonated with me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I don't know. I'm just rambling on. Tell me if I need to stop
No, I'm
talking.
listening to you. I'm actually listening to you. It's my first time meeting you,
Yeah.
and I'm also connecting to you, and I'm seeing where do you want to go? Where do we want to go with you? Because
Yeah.
it's always about some deeper issue. It's about some deeper issue. It's like the experience, you start to focus on details of life, and they talk back to you in some way. They tell a story, but there's a panic inside of a man. And where is that coming from? What does he know? What do you know inside of you? What is going on? And
Something happened to me when I was a child, Boris. It's one of those things where, oh man, I don't want to get into this big long story, but basically, I know it to be true. It took me forever, right? So I suspected something happened to me. I was put in the hospital at a young age. They said I had to remove a cyst.
how old were you?
Should I
How
go into
old were
this
you?
long story? I was about like 6 years old, or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
They told me I had to remove a cyst. They weren't sure if it was cancerous or not. They told my family this. And back then it was a different era. You listened to the doctor. You didn't question the doctor. The doctor was like God, right? Whatever the doctor said, the family believed. Can you
Yeah,
look back
of
to that
course, of
place,
course, of
to,
course.
to that era? And it's important. I guess it's important for me to express this because after that experience, I changed. And I knew this even at a young age, but I didn't know what happened. It was like my memory was blocked. So what happened is this is how I know it to be true, is that years later, I was listening to this interview with a gentleman, stuff that's very far out, that it took me a long time to go down the rabbit hole kind of thing to open myself up to these possibilities. And to make a long story short, I listened to the interview. It's about an hour and a half. Okay. And I listened to it. I felt compassion for him. I've listened to many interviews. I was growing cannabis at this time. So I had the headphones on and I'm working and stuff. Nothing happened. But a year later, the interview popped up again. And when that interview popped up, Boris, it was like my guides were showing me all the signposts and the story. I could relate to it. And these memories start to flood back. And what I realized is that I was in this hospital, and my parents weren't able to see me for 3 days. 3 days. And when we went into the hospital was a hospital. But when I was there, it wasn't a hospital. I know this sounds kind of crazy and far out. I don't even know if we should even go into this story.
No, I'm trying to get to know you. I'm trying to see what's important to you, and I don't know if the story in itself is going to be the very thing you want to work on. I'm trying to understand what is overall, what are you experiencing in life that's a struggle,
Fear.
and then I will see if that's relevant to this story. We can go deeper into it.
Okay.
I just want to first understand like what, like you're here right with me for a reason. There's something in you that you want to improve on, that you're aware of, right? Or it's you want me to find something and shift you. There's something you want to let go of, right? You understand what that is?
Yes, I'm trying to
Like
surrender.
what's the experience in life? What are you frustrated, you feel numb, or you feel untrusting? What's the experience? What is the frustration?
Fear. Fear
Okay.
has run my life since that experience. The memories came back. I was in a hospital, but it wasn't a hospital. There was a Russian kid, okay? And I knew this because it was so foreign to me to have a European person speak with an accent. I come from, I'm like a little kid. There's nobody around there. It's all like the same. Everybody's kind of the same kind of thing. So that stood out. Then the kid is screaming, okay? Daily. He's screaming. Next thing I know, they tell me he's died. Okay. Then every night, these women would come into the room and they have a fucking needle this big. Okay. And they put it into my legs, take me down the hallway and say, "Oh, okay, we're going to get you an ice cream." And then I would just go black. I don't remember what happened. And that's all I can remember.
Okay.
But I know it was
Yeah, as a
not,
matter of fact,
yeah.
this is very deep for you. And thank you for sharing this. And it gives me a big insight. It's not often that I work with people that have where you started taking me. I understood the trauma you went through. And I checked the resonance, right? And I see like there's a lot 60, 70, 70, 71 charges just around that area. Okay. Realistically, when you look at something like this, we're going to start breaking it apart. Uh, and we will help you. You will see, because you cannot go back, you can't change certain things, but you can definitely change your memories, you could change your triggers, you could change perception, you could change and forgive, you could do a lot of things inside yourself, fortunately. So we're going to go there, but also you have to understand that if you manifested such difficult life here, like you went through such intense trauma as a child, it means it was like a payback almost for something else you've done, which goes back to past lives. So that's why a trauma like that isn't as simple as just on a surface level, which is deep enough, your experience in this life. But it's like a tip of the iceberg as well, because that's what you see, right? And then you also have past lives too. Right now it says two. We'll see after I clear what it is, but right now it says two past lives. And we wouldn't even go there. But do we go there first? Oh, actually, yeah, we're actually going to go there first, I think, which is a bit differently than I normally would work. Normally, I start here. Rarely, I'll go backwards first. All right, so yeah, let's start breaking this apart, okay? So you did say that this was like 6 years old. You were experiencing
I
this?
think I was around that age. I
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
young.
That makes all of the difference. That makes all of the difference. And I had an incident where I had to be in the hospital with my son when he was like, I don't remember now, 3 years old or something. And I stayed there for 2 nights with him as nurses came in and had to give him shots. And he was so traumatized by this, not shots, actually. They were drawing blood tests. They kept testing his blood, but they would come in every 4 hours or something and wake him up and give him shots and all of this. And I'm experiencing his trauma. This was one of the intense things I would even say as a father that I went through with my son, and that's not even on the level what you went through, because you were there by yourself
They
without.
were evil, Boris. The women, I at a young age had discernment and could feel they did not have my highest good. They were doing things that they weren't allowed to do. Does that make sense? And
Yes, of course.
I went down the rabbit hole, heard about all these programs and all this stuff. And I kid you not, I'm not, I'm, I'm, I'm sorry that you went through that with your son. To have your kid in a difficult situation to where you have no control to ease their pain or help them, it's a nightmare. I could imagine. For me, I was alone. My parents were clueless. They did not know. The doctor was God and said, stay away for 3 days. You cannot see him. It was to this day, it's like, okay, I
Well, let's
get it.
go into it. Yeah, let me do my work with you. You know, you might have noticed I started purging some energy already.
Something
Um,
was happening. I was getting chills.
oh,
I
good. Yeah, when you said they're evil and that there's no one there, I started clearing these thoughts already. Um, we're gonna start working down. Let me just see what starts happening. I already have a feeling on you. Um, let's see. Uh, so this one was there's no one here to protect me, and it's obviously trauma from that life that you experienced, but it's a through line of the emotions inside. As a child, not having someone there to protect them, like family, no one here to protect me. These are not thoughts like how we communicate with each other, right? We could say, "Oh, I had a party, everybody showed up," and who's everybody? Like three people, right? That you expected. Doesn't mean everybody. But when the program occurs in your mind, like such as this sentence, right, in relation to the event, it's perception. It's not just random thought. It's inside of you. There's no one here. So they're all evil. First of all, they're all evil, and there's no one here to protect me. You see the combination and the scenario of a child
Yeah,
in a nutshell.
the boundary that a child has when they come into this world has been eliminated. It has been removed.
I'll use your thoughts. You expressive, you nailing it. I'm gonna clear it. You're describing to me these very charges. You speaking them. I'm gonna use it. Exactly what you said was actually a real charge. Sometimes people emoting, they're just speaking off the thing. That is a charge. That is a description from the actual very core of the charge. Tell me that again, please, if you remember what you said.
The boundary
The boundary,
was
right?
removed.
The
It was
boundaries, right?
eliminated when
The
I
boundary.
experienced that. Because when you come into this earth, it's like I had a knowing that there is this boundary. A child has this. I don't know how they have it. God gives it to them or something, but it was a free for all at that point. I had no safe place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you speaking the charges. You speaking the charges. It's a free for all. I have no safe place. Yeah, you full on speaking the charges out loud. It's a very rare thing that happens actually. Um, Most of the time, I'm finding things, people speaking more about the situation, like it's really interesting. Yeah, you speaking from the place, from that place.
And there were
So that's
three
good. We're moving
women,
down. Yeah.
3 women, Boris. That's unusual. Why does there need to be 3 women to put 2 needles in your leg every night, in both legs, the size of this? And when I was a kid and I'd go to the doctor and they wanted to put a needle in my arm, or whatever they wanted to do with the needle, one time I slugged one of the doctors and my mother was just in disarray. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? You know, it was like a reflex kind of thing. I went through life being afraid the whole time and having to fight, you know, and looking over my shoulder and yada
All
yada
right,
yada. But
let's go.
I
Let's go
yeah, yeah.
further in. I want to stay focused. Okay.
Okay.
I'm doing resonance on my fingers, so that's why I can stay on track. You know, for me, this overall, we started at this life, it's at 60 something charges. Currently, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 52. So, um, just to give you an idea, all this purge we've been doing, about five charges, deep ones, five.
I'm getting chills, Boris. I'm getting chills every now and then.
I'm getting in there. I'm clearing it. And it's good. You've seen the effects of it through your friend. So you understand this isn't some gimmick. This really does, you could do healing work with people just in your mind because you can connect to all these cables and their wires, whatever they are, programs, um, and disconnect from these patterns. But on the phone, it's a live instant. You could feel energy, like you feel vibrations. It's like a live wire. Okay, so okay, let's stand track. So further, I want to go deeper into it. So because of this event, because of what happened, you are afraid of people. No, you're afraid of yourself. Okay, close this door. Okay. So I'm a monster that they need to tame. There's all kinds of psychological things that occur as a reflection. Yeah, I'm a beast. There's everything has two sides always in this world. In one hand, you can say, I'm a victim, but I must deserve it somehow. Why? Well, because, but I'm afraid, and you can have all the duality going on in your mind. It's not just one narrative, I guess you could say. It's one of the narratives. In fact, one is like a story you already told. That's what we're breaking down.
The last thing I want to express too, because I think it's important, as I got older,
Yeah.
we were in the witness protection program, a real witness protection program where the FBI's around the house and back east. I was just a little kid. I don't remember that. It's just in the newspaper. And so we had to move to California. And when they told me, my brothers and sisters, they came to me and said, you can never tell this to anyone ever, that your last name is not your real last name, that you're in a witness protection program and you can never share it with anybody. So it was this secret that I live with, and you're as sick as your secrets. And I felt like my brother Raymond, like it didn't
Wait, who
phase him.
said this to
Huh?
you again?
I'm sorry.
Your brother told you
I'm
this?
sorry.
How did he
The Zoom
know?
is breaking up. Like
Wait.
I can't barely hear you, and it's frozen.
So wait, tell me again. How did your brother know this? Oh, yeah. Now is it better?
Yeah, my brothers and
Let me
sisters.
see if my wife is using internet. That's enough too.
Yeah,
1 second. Mila? Maybe I'll leave the door open so connection's better. Okay, so go ahead.
I just wanted to. I thought it was very important because I remember My family came to me and they said, when I was at a young age, not 6, maybe I was 12. It was after the hospital experience. And they said, uh, we have to tell you something. Your last name is not your real last name. You've been in the witness protection program, and you can never tell, not your best friend, not anybody ever, that you were in the witness protection program. So I live with that secret. It's frozen again, I think,
So
or
now that
maybe
you're recording this and you're talking about it, how do you feel about it?
I know that that affected me. It affected me. Um, like I could fit in with any crowd. I went with the surfers, I went with the posers, I went with the, rockers, I went, except the jocks. I wasn't in the jocks, they didn't impress me, but I fit in with all these different crowds, but never felt part of. And they showed me love and everything like that. But it was that whole thing. I'm going through this life by myself. No one understands me because I have this secret, anyways. So nobody really even knows me. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I just cleared a charge. I'm afraid they're going to kill me. That was a big one. Let's see. So my place has been taken and I can never get it back. You understand? That's invasion, trespass.
Yes.
My space, each person has their own space, very important. That's why people naturally will be like, I sit here, or not like, no, I sit here, or you took my spot. We take that close to heart, right?
Right.
And same thing goes with your self. When you compromise and you live in fear like that, you give up your space, your inner space, and other things come in to take it, and it gets even worse. So that's what this charge is about. I'm just explaining to you. Let's continue further. I'm gonna continue working. Uh, so let's see.
You
Okay,
tell
nice.
me
It's actually at
if you want
44
me to
charges now.
you tell me if you want me to express another thing that's kind of bizarre and it's like almost like possession or something at a young age. I don't know if you want me to
Um,
tell you this or not.
well, we'll get to it. I have to get through a certain amount. You see, I'm going down the list. I'm at 44 charges. I'm breaking this thing down.
Okay.
I have to get through it. If I jump around, it won't necessarily help unless it just doesn't feel like it's relevant right now
Okay.
to what I'm working on. But it
Okay.
might be relevant overall, and I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it because I know there's a lot going on. There's layers.
Okay.
There's layers. I'm just getting through stuff that already surfaced that is important, kind of cleaning the area. We'll see where it goes. It's like I'm winding the energy. It's not a single double charge. It's like a series of charges in different groups that hold the structure. Okay, that's why it's so effective, because you don't just clear just an individual thing, but you clearing things that, as I like to explain, let's say you have an object. You could describe this. You could say it's plastic and it's a lighter and it has flame and it's green and it has this shape from this angle and this shape from this angle. It looks like this from here. All these are descriptions of this item. If I start erasing them, I erase that it's green. I erase that it's plastic. I erase the shape like this and the shape like that and the shape like this from all the perspectives. I erase that it's a flame and I erase that it's a fire. The thing disappears, right? That's how the construct within the mind, you have this experience and it's real to you. These emotions are involved. So you are explaining it with a sense of, yeah, like you create, you using that spirit, that energy to actually keep it alive. And then I'm like pulling the string out of the sweater. That's what this is. I'm taking out elements of that construct through emotion. And a thought has no power without emotion. And these are illusions because you've created these thoughts. Yes, the event occurred, but you made yourself, you chose to feel a certain way. You gave it a meaning, you gave it a definition of what this experience is on so many levels. That
I
we can
gave it more
change. We can,
power. I gave it
hmm?
more power, did I not?
You get, well, yeah, and no one's to blame because I think most of us would respond like that. I mean, differently. Some people can go through experience like that, become very violent. Some people can go through experience like that and become very victimized. I mean, people are also different innately and the way they respond to the same type of events. I've seen that. You know, one person goes into I'm sorry, the other one goes I want a revenge. You know, so that's more, I think, of an inner person, you know, or perhaps past life experiences that shape deeper personalities, you know. Let's stay on track. So let me get through. If something comes up, you could tell me, but understand that it's not so much about the bigger stories. You could understand it's more about that you understand like the charges have been clearing. So the last one
It's
was my
these
place has
charges,
been
these
taken and I
unseen
can never get.
energies, these unseen
Hmm?
energies that I don't see, these unseen energies that you're tapping into.
Yeah, I'm testing here. Like for instance, when you said to me if we should go to that's another experience, and I said, is it going to be relevant? Because you feel it already when you resonate when you're speaking of it, and it says no, it's not. So I have to stick with this for now.
Okay.
Um, but then also focus on your space. Your space, one, two, three, four. There's still four charges while you're giving up your space. Let me see, and then been created in fear to always be afraid. That's your truth. Oh, I think I found what's going on with you. See, that's why you have to always look at everything honestly. And when you do, you have a chance to actually truly heal. So I said, what was your past life? Why this happened to you? And I'm like going through certain things, and it's basically stopped on evil doctor. So you have a past life where you were doing something of similar nature. See, this is where responsibility comes in
Oh my God, man.
to
I've got
look
chills.
at yourself at another way, right? Not just as a victim, but as someone who's caused, created that. This is a reflection you're getting right back, your actions. God is helping you because I'm here, obviously, so you're going to be out of this. But you have to go through the process of recognition, you know? So, yeah, I would like to go now towards the past life, actually. Let me see more. Yeah, evil doctor. I started clearing right away. I saw you were male, female. Yeah, you were male. How old were you? 10, 20. Wow. You lived a long life. You lived till 110, 11, 111 years old, actually. Wow. Interesting age altogether, 111. I don't know whatever that means, but you lived 111 years. And you don't always get this kind of age with people. There's some significance with that life, big time. When I see a life that long, wow. See, now we're getting some deep stuff out. And you thought that was deep, your experience in this life. Yeah, and it was, but whew, see, that's what you're holding. That's the panic deep down inside. This is whew, so beautiful. I love this work for that reason. So honest. Yeah, whew. That's how I know when I find real things. The purge is something that is just. It's when I touch those things, they go through out. But and that's why I know for a fact, like, oh, that was there. Okay, can't tell me otherwise. Doesn't matter to me what you would even say. I know those things. So wow, okay. And you have 20 charges on that past life, which is quite a bit. I often can do a lot just with 12 charges on the past life. This is 20, so it says like it's heavy. The fact that you live till okay, first of all, how many generations ago? 10 generations ago this life was. So interesting, a cycle. 10 years went by and you return. 10 is a 1 because you remove the 0, you're 1, and you're 111. I'm not usually the person to like kind of identify numbers, be like, oh, look at the coincidence. I really don't do it. But there is definitely interesting pattern here. 10 generations ago, and you live till 111 years old. Uh, and you were evil doctor. That's a general statement. It's just a direction I need to go in. The fact that you lived till 111 years, it tells me that you didn't just die like some horrible way. You lived with something. When you have 20 charges and you're that old, you lived with something. Plus, you know, you lived obviously a long life. 10 generations ago, it's not that long ago. That's a good life to live, decent, right? 111 years old. So possibly, I'm still searching, but like maybe a psychiatry doctor. Like, shows kind of like that. So you worked in like some sort of facility. Yeah. Similar, something similar over here. I feel it's almost like it just reflected back to you. To, yeah, cause and effect. It will always give back whatever we put out. And that's on a smaller scale and on a larger scale. We see it reflect in our daily life, but it can do it on a bigger chart. You could look back and you could see events, lifetimes. You did this time, lifetime, came like that.
It's funny because my sister said I should have been a psychologist. She used to always come to me with her problems, and I would listen. You know, I'm not surprised that you tapped into that for a past life because it's probably residual going into this life.
And it said there's two lives. This is just one of them. So let's continue. Let me understand that deeper. I kind of have a gist on it, but let me see if I could find a little bit more. That's from that life. So I need people to be dependent on me. Because I checked, were you like killing people? No, it didn't say like you killed people, like you injected them and killed them. It wasn't any of that. But it was more like you put them on some sort of dependency. You made them dependent. Okay, it's very important, or very important. Each charge reveals to us more, where some things you pay deeper attention to because there's a wording there, there's a reason for that dependency. And you're living out my life depends on them. See? In this life, in that facility, that fear, where someone's in charge of your life, my life depends on them. So that, and that we're still working with the past life, by the way, but it's just such a reflection. And you'll see later when we go back to those. Remember, you had 60 charges that came down about 44 before originally.
Mm-hmm.
I said like
I had
61
70.
to.
You said I had 70.
No, I think initially when I said on this experience, you had like maybe 70. I thought it was about 60, but
No, maybe you're
now
right,
you
70.
are at 10, 20, already 21. So overall, you see how it's taking directions going. I'll read it back to you. You'll hear all the stuff that used to be in your mind emotionally. Um, and your energy, like say, we call that panic, like you've been panic mode, fear. You were, before we started working, at 0 to 100, 100 being absolute maximum and 0 being no fear at all. You were, when we started this, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 91, 92% fear. And now, as we speak right now, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61. So already that anxiety is coming down, 61. Not gone. And this is the thing, like it's not up to me. I'm just, but we did a big chunk so far. It goes from 92 to 61. We got to get it to 0. So we'll see if that other story will play in a part. But right now, we need to continue with this information. So my life depends on them. Okay. Interdependency. And you were put in this position as a child, and you did this to these people. How many people? At least 100. No, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 91. You read about 91 people. If, oh, that's more like the, yeah, 9 plus 1 is 1 again. This is really trippy. You did this to 91. I don't normally do this, but seriously, you did it to 91 people. 9 plus 1 is 1. And you're back to 1 again. It was some karmic life. I don't know what's going on, what it was. And the needle looks like a 1, you know? Okay. That was a big charge actually for you. Wow. I don't know why, but it was. Needle looks like a 1. In life, if you're religious, most important is to understand that God is one. All is one. So now, number 1 is a big number in general. It's the first letter, God's name. I mean, there's a lot of significance to number 1. And you put all of that energy into the needle. And you say, the needle looks like 1. It's like God almost. Yeah, that's actually, yeah. That's how deep it goes for you. That's why I clear that it is a charge. Further we go. Let's go. Okay. On that past life that we've been working on, how many charges are there? At least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. Okay, it's coming down. Sometimes it shows a big number, but then it will crash down like this. It's because think of like when you see a tree and sometimes you're seeing branches, but you end up hitting something over here and the whole thing falls. Because it said there was, let's say, those extra 4 charges, but they all might have stemmed from this one thing that when you get it, boom,
I see.
4 falls down. But a lot of the times it'll just go one by one by one by one. It just will specifically speak like it. So it's not like a general thing. It's just literally sometimes it knocks out like a bunch, but sometimes it's one by one. Usually when there's large numbers, usually it's an overwhelming feeling and you'll knock down a bunch at a time and then it tightens up and then you go like that.
Okay.
But let's see. So it's good. 10 more in this past life. So I want to be God to these people. I want to be their God. See, not so innocent. I want to be God to these people. It's very dark because Satanism is like that, where you think your body is God and all of this stuff. So it goes into dark places with a thought like this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be God to these people. See, the beauty of trauma, it's not all just one-sided. I'm not just a victim. You look honestly, that's where the healing takes place. You look at you, not just like, oh, what have I done? And that's why I say sometimes that it's bitter medicine because you have to go to those bitter places. But
Yeah,
you
no.
release them, and that's the nice thing. It's not like dwelling upon it. Right? It's just identifying and releasing, and it's a relief. But willing to go there, willing to sit like that and concentrate and go through it. Takes a bit of time, but it's permanent. This doesn't come back.
Thank God.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you completely, you gotta earn all of this. You got to do it completely. You have to recognize. You have to go through all of it. You have to embrace the new self. Because like a crutch, people hide behind it. They live a certain froze. Are you there?
It, yeah, you
There
kind
you
of
go.
broke up, but
You heard me?
you said you got to embrace it. You got to you got to go into it in order to clear it.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue. And that might be an entity inside of you feeling like that, maybe. But the charges, I want to feel. Uh, I feel. Oh gosh, just slipped. Hold on. I feed. I feed. Yeah, I feed, not feel. I feed on their. It was something like I feed on their. Uh, do you hear me? Are you there? Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
froze, but
feed
I
on
could
their.
still
I
hear
feed on
you.
their helplessness.
I feed on their helplessness.
Isn't that how you were feeling? And they were feeding on your
Exactly.
helplessness.
Exactly.
And here I am helpless. It's that state of being. See, not only being afraid, like you mentioned in the beginning, but also experiencing helplessness, which I even said, right? No one here to help.
That's right.
See, it's all reflecting. the state
That's what
of.
I'm that's what I was just thinking, is that I'm noticing this process. It's all reflecting. What I did in a past
Yeah,
life is what I experienced here. One,
it tells a
two, three,
story.
four.
Okay, let's stay on track. Now, how many charges you still have in the past life? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay, 6 more. And your fear level down was 61, now 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 56. Calming down. Just like keeping track of it. There's a series of things I'm checking for resonance, so I stay on track. It's a very specific thing. I'm not randomly like pulling things. And these are all your things from your anxiety, from your language inside you. Um, that's why it's so effective, because it moves out. And there's no other way. Like, what is a person doing that's basically enters out? You know, it's not
You're
about putting any
freer.
thoughts in your
You're
mind.
light as a feather. You're
Yeah,
free.
yeah. Um, and it's like repentance. You ask for forgiveness. You have to have that recognition inside, like you've done this. These things, and recognizing, yeah, that was wrong of me, and you must have, because here we are. You're getting that. So. Well, in that particular life, I guess, I said, why you did all this? And it's like, I hate my parents. Well, I imagine even in this life, you would have a thought the same way if they put you in that particular predicament. I hate my parents. And when you hate your parents, you hate a big part of, are you there? Yeah. You hate a big part of yourself, because you are your parents' ancestors. So now, yep, 5 charges. Let's see what else. That's a good one. That was one charge moving out. And boy, that felt good. That's why I like writing them down. Otherwise, I would forget. I'm threatened by people when they are awake. This is this doctor, psychology, this person who lived in fear, who had to subdue all these people because he lived with this fear of people being awake. That's the deeper core.
So he was like medicating them or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it seems like you were doing. Yeah, something of that exact
I
nature. Yeah,
medicated myself in this life.
yeah, and that's related.
Alcohol, heroin. Alcohol wasn't hard enough. Then I went to heroin. That brought me to my knees.
Yeah,
Heroin,
this is relevant. See, right now I say, why did you do heroin? Right? It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 charges right now, right? But let's go back before we met today. When you did heroin, how many charges did you have then? 50, 51. You see, so it's the same thing that we knocking off right now that caused you to go towards that addiction as well. Find it's good that you found the strength to already have stopped all of that.
It was by the grace of
Now
God.
we're removing the cause. Okay, so okay, so um 3 more charges. Let's see. It's already much quieter in the space. That was a big one. Okay, so let's see. Okay, interesting. So now you finally have come to a place where you do say, yes, I do regret it. I was asking before on this past life, and because you were so mad at your parents and because you were afraid of people being awake, you wouldn't recognize that you were regretful about your actions. Whereas now, when I say you're regretful, say, yeah. So you still have charges, but now you're at least looking more honestly, deeper, right? Within that personal, that past life, like having let go, almost like healing, you healing that individual in that time. That's what this is. It's like working on you, but in a different scenario, like circumstance. Um, wait, did I? I just cleared something, right? Do you remember what I just cleared?
You didn't say. You said
Oh,
that was a big one, but I don't think I heard it.
oh, hold on. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, regret. Yeah, I didn't clear anything yet. I just realized that you are, yeah, that you have regret. So let's see. I'm regretful these people's lives. I don't think in a literal way. I think in a way that you kept them dependent and you took their lives from them, like they didn't live them because of you. Yeah, one more charge. Hmm. Yeah, one more. It's gotten so quiet in there. It's not easy to find the last ones because it gets quiet. All that emotion escapes, and then it's like you have to look for it. Trying to find. There's more there. There's one more. Some by yourself. See why I don't let go? I'm the evil that people should be afraid. coming from that life. I'm the evil, should be afraid. Is the connection okay? Do you see me?
It froze,
You
but I
you,
could hear you.
you heard?
It
Yeah.
froze, but I could hear you.
Let me see. So I'm gonna plug my computer in. Okay. Yeah. So now I say focus on that past life. Look at strong. See, someone else to do on it? Not at this time. Eh, something. I can't stop being evil. There was a little more to that same variation of the charge. I'm the evil that people should be afraid, and I can't stop being evil. So maybe at some point when you had that regret, you had a moment of recognition in that life where you're like, I shouldn't be doing this, maybe, but you felt like you couldn't stop it.
Because I hated my parents. And
Well,
did
not
they do something?
necessarily because of that you did it. No, it's just there was the anger you lived with in that life at your parents. And this life for sure. Actually, it might have been this life even. Maybe it was like I hate my parents. Maybe it's in this life for what they put you. It might have been here. I don't know.
This life,
It's not
I didn't
necessarily.
hate my parents. My
No,
my
in the
father,
moment when you were put there for six when you were 6 years old and you were left there.
yeah, but
You said you were there
they,
for three
they
days.
were clueless. They were they were clueless, and my memory had been wiped.
Yeah,
So I didn't remember this until I'm much older. So they didn't know. They thought they were doing the right thing, and I didn't
yeah.
have any resentment towards them. Nobody knew. I didn't even know that I was
No, but
there.
the anger was there inside. It was a
It must have been
passive
like a
aggressive,
subconscious thing
passive anger.
that you're able to tap into.
Yeah, of course, because in that particular moment you're terrified to death, and your parents are nowhere to be around. You're gonna experience that. You're gonna associate them to that evil because you are alone and no one's there to protect you. Like I said earlier when I was clearing, that's where all these charges come from. Very dark, lonely places, scary places. Okay, let's continue. Focus on the past life. This one is strong. Now, where is your fear levels? 10, 20, 30, 40, 41. Okay, we're at 41% still. Even 5 will be felt. So 40, 41, we're just below the halfway mark. 41. So that past life is out. There's one other past life. No, we don't want to look at that. Something about the possession. Okay. Let's look at the 1 second. How many charges do you have in relation to that event that occurred? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. 10. Okay. There's 10 more charges. Are those past life? No, this on this life in relation to this event. So let's go break those apart. It's out of the big chunk we started initially. It's down to 10. So I need to just follow. I need to clean that up completely, and then we could see something else. But 10 more is, yeah, 6 years old. No, I can't find it this way. So let's continue then in a little bit in a different direction alongside of this because I think it will be related. Because I'm looking specifically at that space again. Possession. Tell me about the possession for a second.
Okay, so I use the word possession because I can't really explain it. I had nightmares as a kid, and every night, and those nightmares, I would rock my head back and forth, and I would rock my feet back and forth. I mean, like this. I'm talking like this. Okay. If you do that now, I can't, I'm getting dizzy just doing that for a second. I would do that all night long until I passed out, until I was asleep.
Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna do an egg on you.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe I should do. Let me do this real quick. Actually, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Where's my? Let me see where you could. That was from the back of your neck, closer to shoulder blades. Very vulnerable place. See, this is more entities. It's different than charges. I release them the same because there's a purge going on, but they're not the same. Some of the previous ones are like psychological charges. This thing is like film, this nasty things that just get on your when you're vulnerable, when you're open. For various reasons that we were clearing. Okay, so let me see your hands. Let me see your hands in the way that I could see them. Yeah, pull them back more where I could see them better, like towards your face. Up, raise them up. Yeah, there you go, right there, perfect. No, 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 lower, lower. I want to see them. I don't see them like that. No, bring them down. No, no, no. I want to see all of your hands, like with fingers in a screen. Like there. No, no, up. Like full hand, like how you had it before, so that I could see. Like look at yourself, hug, so that you feel like I don't see your pinkies. No, bring. No, no, no. Like you know how you had initially when I said pull back, so I could see your hands. Like see how your pinkies are hiding. Pinkies are hiding. There you go. Yeah. Okay. There. Fingers apart a little bit. Fingers apart a little bit. Yeah. There you go. Like that's fine. Yeah. Let me see back of your hands. So interesting. I said pinkies are hiding, and I was like your pinkies. I just couldn't see them, and then I couldn't see anything. And then you flipped your hand around on the back side of the pinky. The energy was trippy. Yeah, that's good. That's good for now. Yeah, put your hands down. Yeah, okay. Um,
I was going to tell you, Boris, I have this issue with my shoulder. It's funny how you tapped into that. Um,
hmm.
I, I can't play the guitar that long. It hurts. Uh, when I drive too long, it's just an issue.
It could have been related. Let's see. Could be related. And yeah, just take it easy with your shoulder. Let things. When we heal things, you still need for the physical body to readjust. But the healing takes place when it's correct. Then the body just each day gets better until it's better. Sometimes it's instantaneous. You could release like, oh, it already feels better. Might, but if it's sore and stuff, it takes time to heal. If it was related, you'll see. Um, but yeah, all of it is it speaks about you, your emotions, your experiences. You brought it up. You started talking about these things. They're significant to you, obviously. Um, but you didn't know maybe that deep to your past lives, right?
I had
Okay,
no
so
idea.
yeah. And I look for those things. That's when I have hope. When I find things like that, I have hope that this person is going to get well, because these are the sort of things that cause bad feelings in a person. Okay, so let's see. Um, yeah, now I say focus on possession. It's like, no, it's fine. So that was just removed as a possession, or as a way of, let's see, where's your fear at? 10, 10, 11% at fear. So that entity, whatever was on you, was creating anxiety for sure, because it dropped from like 41 to, it took out 30% just with the entity, which
Wow.
oftentimes can be like this. I can do a mega session with someone and they're still feeling a bit of strange anxiety. That's when I know like there's something on you. Doesn't matter. You're going to keep clear in the mind, something sitting there and just causing havoc. Okay. Focus on the charges you had up when we started working. You have two now. So it is calming down. Now, let's see, two more charges. Okay, so now we have to go a little bit to something else. Okay. Okay, so question. Why are you afraid of people? Yeah, 10 charges there. That's what I want to clear. People exploit my vulnerabilities. Yeah, 7 more. Why are you afraid of people? So you can carve out anything. That's what I said before. You could work on anywhere you want to go. But I'm finding questions in relevance to your overall state of being right now, not to make you into whatever other things are important to you. Although they directly affect, everything affects the other, but you could specifically work on any topic. Because we're working on fear, I'm asking you why you're afraid of people, because we don't live in this world by ourselves. People are judgmental. And I always get unfavorable judgment. I always get unfavorable judgment. See the catch? People are always judgmental, and I'm always getting the unfavorable judgment. That would be a bad loop to be in. Not very heavy charges, but I think they're significant. So let's see. Why are you afraid of people? 2, 3, 4. 4 more charges. People are animals. That's good. It's the same one. I'm clearing people, animals. One more charge on why you're afraid of people. Yeah, one charge. Do you have allergies by any chance? Dogs or cats?
Just started in Texas. We moved to Texas,
To
and it
dogs or
just
cats?
I have a dog, but it started when I got
To
sick on New Year's Day.
dogs, right?
I have one dog. I'm praying that you can remove that because as a musician, a
Yeah,
vocalist,
we
it interferes.
that charge was one of the reasons is people are animals. I'm afraid of people. People are animals. The dog reminds you of that. So you have one more on animals. If you, I mean, on allergies. There's absolutely no goodness in people. Again, it's a place where you made that decision. why you're afraid of people. Deep down inside, there's that you want to make it different. You might even in this life try to encourage people to be better people, whatever, but you're living out of a place inside, but there's absolutely no goodness in people.
That's frightening.
Disappointment. Disappointment. Uh, okay, so let's see. Why are you afraid of people? Okay, now you're strong. See that? Now let me check you on the dogs real quick. Focus on your allergies to dogs. One charge. And there's a dog started barking nonstop. This is crazy.
I
You
hear him
hear
in
it?
the background. I hear him in the background. But what I'm saying is, I'm not allergic to cats or dogs. Well, I don't know subconsciously
Yeah.
or inside, but I'm saying I moved here. I never had problems with allergies until I moved to Texas.
Okay. Well, maybe the air there or something different. But do you have allergies to dogs?
Does what?
Now, currently, do you have allergies to dogs?
No, or cats.
What's the thing you said? I wish it could go away. What was it?
The allergies that I'm getting from Texas. And it started when I got sick
Oh, from
on,
Texas. Not it's not from to the animals. It's to actually you allergic to the air there.
yeah, the location. And apparently everyone has issues with allergies. I never had
Are you
allergies
living
until I
next to
moved.
mold or?
I think it's the
But you
pollen.
might need to move. Maybe you're living where there's bad water or air or electrical cable, something like a station, some towers. What's near? Where do you live?
You never know. I'm in Denton County, and there is the well, like the well here. It runs like
Yeah,
the whole county. You have to get the water cleaned, so you have to do a water system for the house because the water's so tainted. And then
that's okay. Yeah. Okay,
and
let me check on what I can do, okay? Which is remove
yes,
your charges. Maybe you are reacting somehow. Let me see. Yeah, there's 5 charges there. And actually, it's the same charges that I just wrote down here. When you said something, you said, I got sick on New Year's Day, right? And
yes,
I wrote it down. Why did you get sick on a New Year's Day? And it told me 5 charges, and it's relevant to your allergies there. So I want to understand deeper why you got sick. When did you
in
move there? How long ago?
over 2 years. But that's
How
exactly what
long?
happened. I got sick.
Over 2 years, but the allergies just started.
I got the allergies started when I got
Allergies just
sick.
started,
The allergies started when I got sick.
which is like 6 days ago. I mean,
No,
sorry, not 6 days ago. On the New Year's Day.
New Year's Eve day is when I got sick. I haven't been the same since, and the allergies all of a sudden appeared.
Yeah, well, you picked up some stupid COVID strain, I'm sure, and a lot of people experiencing this. But not to say that a lot of these things are psychological, because I have been sick with COVID and all that, and I pushed through it psychologically, and I'm okay. So let's see. You have something there. Let's look at you and let's see, because I feel like these viruses, they carry some sort of psychological patterns. The original versions of COVID, when I got sick, I ended up going to like mind control and all kinds of things related to it. Um, AI and different kind of, I don't remember now all the details to it, but there was a bunch of this kind of overpowering artificial intelligence sort of thoughts. This is not related, no. For you, Okay, it still is based in fear. It's based in fear. Okay, so it's consistent with what we've been working on. And that's the reason why you got sick. Okay, so we got to stay on fear topic still. Okay. Okay. So I said focus on your relationship with God. Okay. 6 charges, and it's related. And the fear. Your relationship with God. Okay. So I don't know how you were brought up, Christianity, whatever it was, right? Was it Christianity?
Catholic. But
Catholic?
we only went to church on Sundays.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But still, your early perceptions of what God is through Catholic, through Christianity, so to speak. Catholicism, like Jesus.
My mom tried to explain to me about Jesus when
Not relevant to
I
what I'm
was a
doing though.
kid. There's three
What I
Jesuses
want
or
to
something.
know is,
Yeah.
yeah, you're putting idols before you. Yeah, you're putting idols before you. You're creating separation with God. Um, Separation with God comes from when we sin, because that's we kind of idols. You give up your power to idol, and it's sexual idol. Interesting. Okay. Oh wow. And that's why you got sick. Okay. Uh, Interesting. Um, within being I don't think it's related to what I thought I was looking for, but that's what I found. So I don't know if it's related to idols, maybe not. But it's I'm within empty walls being forgotten. Like when you are in some space that feels very artificial and void of life, like empty walls. There's nothing but empty walls, and you're forgotten. Yeah, we're on track. You have 4 more charges. Yeah, I thought it was something else, but then I put my attention to fear again. Kind of left the idle thing for a second because I couldn't really find much on that at this moment. 4 more charges on fear. I'm already an old man without anyone. Again, like here, I'm with an empty walls being forgotten, and then a following thought, I'm already an old man without anyone. Seeing gray, look in the mirror, not that young anymore, and then you create with your mind extreme. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm already this old man. Life's over, and that's it. Nothing was fixed, and I'm just the broken, old man, and I'm alone with no one. Too late for me. Okay, get rid of that. Oh, that was quite a bit there. Okay, one more charge. Nice. Why you got sick on New Year's Day? One more charge on that. Yeah, see all that down energy? I'm with an empty halls being forgotten. I'm already an old man without anyone. Too late for me. And this is what you're living out. It's triggering this, and you having allergies. You'll see, and probably will make all your allergies go away. We'll see. It could. It often does, but we'll
Oh,
see. We'll see what's
okay.
causing it. And if not now, then maybe we'll find the deeper stuff, and then it will go. We'll see where we're at. Talking about removing within a couple of hours trauma you lived with for lifetimes.
That's why you're a gift, man. You're a freaking gift from
That's what's
God.
up.
I know you are. I'm serious. And you're raising the vibration of this planet. Uh, I don't know what you did in a past life. I'm sure you were very powerful and you came in here to clean house. So I'm just grateful. I mean, I've done
Thank
a
you.
lot of
I
internal
appreciate
work.
that.
I've done a lot of internal work, but not this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I had to reprogram my brain, think a negative thought, have a negative thought, and then replace it with a positive thought. Being an alcoholic and
I know
whatnot.
what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That works to a degree. It does work. It gives you sort of because I used to use that tool before I learned this one. If I'm not mistaken, I learned it, I think, from Tony Robbins, because he was talking about, how you break the association to something giving you pleasure, and then you associate it with displeasure. And the next time you go towards a thing, it doesn't respond the same way because there's not pleasure there. So, and it worked. I would change my mind about things. But when I actually got sick later on in my life, I had IBS that lasted, I think, 5 years or 6 years, something like that.
What's
And it was very,
IBS?
very IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. It's when you're
Okay.
holding, either holding or you have runs. In my case, I was holding. So you get like, oh, you stuffed, you can't eat, but you're hungry and you feel heavy and toxic, and you're holding. You can't go to the bathroom for 2 days sometimes, and then you go a little, and it's like really hard. You try drinking water and everything you eat, and you don't know what to do. Um, and so at one point, I realized I went to a doctor that identified that it was IBS, and then I looked up like what were the irritants, what things cause the irritation, irritable bowel syndrome. So I started avoiding those things. It was like alcohol, chocolate, which I didn't really drink anyway, but not even here and there, you have to avoid it. So it's like alcohol, chocolate, sugar, flour, a lot of like coffee, stimulants, different things. And I cut those things out. But more than that, I started at one point when I actually learned the system, then I started taking each one of these groups and removing charges behind them, then worked on my digestion, then worked on my past lives. When I found past lives in relation to this thing, it healed instantaneously. I was regular within 2 weeks, like instantaneously. I mean, when I got through my past life clearances, I heard movement, like things started to move where they were stagnant, and I started feeling something there. And then each day just got more release, release, release. And by like 2 weeks, I'm totally regular.
Wow.
And so then I took the same idea. I was like, oh wow, all these I healed myself through past lives. Like that's where the trauma, real trauma was. And I started healing past life trauma in serious cases and healing major stuff. So that's where, you know, it went to a whole another level. Okay, so let's see where we are at. Fear. One, two. Yeah, you got two more charges there. And your fear levels are at 5%. Look, it's down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 4%. You're down to 4% already. So let's see where we're at. Two more charges. Fear. Why are you afraid? That's a scary place to be in, by the way. I said, why are you afraid? Because I know there's no God.
My gosh.
That's a scary place to be in. You know, maybe you will say, no, I'm a believer, I'm religious or whatever. Like, you know, I believe in God. Like you might say that out loud, but on an emotional level, true connection, it's like you have a doubt there, and you have a, I'm afraid ultimately, right? Why would a man in a deep core of his soul be afraid? Because he has no connection with God. When you have connection with God, that's the reason why it's so important. You have this sense of eternal existence. You have a sense of consistency in your life. You have a sense of whether I die or live doesn't matter as long as I'm with God. I will be salvation, maybe. I don't know what you would call that, but I will be connected. I will exist. When you have no connection to God, that's where you're alone, which is what your charges were above that, right? All these. You say, if there was God, there would be no hopelessness. That's your answer. If there was God, there would be no hopelessness. It's how you define God. Again, it's just ego. There's nothing but God. And we know that when we die, it becomes something like, of course, oh my God, I was so separated thinking that it was any otherwise. Like, it's like fish being in water and contemplating, like, oh, you know, this is same as dry land, though, blah, 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 whatever. It's like,
I think we came here to have the illusion of being separated from God. Because when we go back to the non physical, which is where we come from, we know this, that we're all connected and that source is the creator. There's no religion or there's no doubt. It's all knowing. And you feel this love and peace like you never felt before. But we
and I
came
get
here
that
to
you
experience
live
that.
it.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
and you're well. I'm saying you expressing this correctly, and you know that's why I said you consciously know. You might even be living with that belief, but on a deeper core of yourself, your fear is speaking louder, right? Fear is showing you are not connected to God. You doubting all of this, right? Would you disconnected from Him through your actions, through stuff we've been looking at. and then also your belief and the resentment and the way you're living in actuality like that. Do you live with a sense of I'm calm, I'm good, I'm being carried within this universe, I'm safe, God is with me, I know? Or is it total panic, have given over your soul to something, you know?
Yeah. I've come a
That's what we're
long
doing.
way
We're bringing
because
you back to.
I come a long way. Like when I went to church and when I first got sober, it
Well,
was like nails on a chalkboard. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Tell me to be quiet when you're doing your thing, because
yeah, no, it's okay. I always come back to the working. We're not gonna get through. So that's why I always like I listen, but I wanna continue stay focused on charges because that's the only
yes,
way
I
I'll
want
clean
you
it
to
up.
I want you to stay continued on
Okay,
charges.
so we get in there. We get in there. We're at your fear is at 1 to 2%. We get in there. We're almost there.
That's
That's why I
great.
said about rushing, not rushing, because I have a certain amount I gotta get through. I'm just following your what do you call that chart? I don't know. Okay, so yeah, there was God, there'd be no hopelessness. That's how you live in a hopeless place. Before you used to, it's gonna change now. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Okay, I had to get rid of this because it's actually at the core of the story you were telling me, and I kept thinking it, but didn't even think of bother of clearing it until right now. The needles, situation with the needles. You weren't just being poked, they were injecting something into you. So what I just cleared was inside me is the liquid that they put in me, right? There's a sense of permanent invasion, not just trespass through the fact that they're like manhandling you, right? Controlling you, do this, that. But the needle penetrating through your flesh and then liquid going in, mixing with your DNA, so to speak, right? And it carries a spirit within it. It's more than just the liquid. There's a spirit behind it. That's why I'm able to suck out that energy. So it leaves an imprint. It's almost like, I can't wear, but then you're now holding on your mind. If you just kind of let go of it, it might disappear. You know what I'm saying? Whereas when you're living out the fact that it is like this, then it's manifested like it's living as a way of like people that are like having to always obsess compulsive, clean their hands, clean their hands, clean their hands, because in their mind they're dirty, still dirty, they're dirty. It's like a mental thing. If you just let go, you're gonna be okay.
That's right. And
Uh,
you don't give it more power. You don't give it more power. The things you put attention on is the is what gives it power. I came to that realization late in life. I wish I would have known that a long time ago. I wouldn't have wasted my time with all these things that I don't want. I wrote a song, and the line is, uh, "You You give away your power to create the things that you want when you focus on the things that you don't want.
That's right. That's what this is right here. This is all the things that you tell a story. This is why when I clear this up, and I'll clear things, let's say in relation to your work and money and partnerships, whatever things outside of that, and you'll focus on relationship if you want to attract a lady or whatever it is, you will manifest these things much easier, just by putting attention on it and visualizing like, oh, I'd like this, and enjoy it in a clear way, like visualization, fairly easy because you don't have a burden of all this stuff weighing you down. You just like, and then the next thing you know, you see it manifest. You just have to stay consistent with it for like a few days, 3-4 days. I like to go with my manifestation for about a week, almost like some kind of you could say simple ritual, consistency. I want to focus on this thing today, and then remember to do it once more time, the next day, do it one more time the following day. That's already like boom boom, you're consistent with your thoughts, focusing, don't let them drift, and watch. Okay, let's stay focused. So the last two things I cleared was inside me is a liquid, and then if I let go, I will not be okay. That's actually the obsession. Whereas I was describing it to you of obsessive compulsive, but it was also relevant to you in a sense of your mental state, thinking that you need to chew this thing through. I had to get rid of that. So if I let go, I will not be okay. Control. Learning to surrender. That is part of connecting to God. You're not in control. You trust the goodness of Hashem, God. Okay, so while correcting yourself, that's where the power is within you. Okay, focus on your fear. Strong. Is it still at least 1%? No, we've done it. There we go. Clear. Now, question. I'm just going to go through a couple of things as a way of seeing where we're at. Focus on this traumatic experience. Strong. Not to say we won't revisit it, maybe here and there. There might be other things come up, but generally speaking, the heavy burden of that energy is gone. And I want to see how you integrate this. The following session will be important too. I have to see what surfaces. Sometimes right away you feel relief like Jason did, and you feel amazing. Sometimes it will cause something unseen to surface because it's been suppressed. So it doesn't mean that this didn't hold up. It just means that it needs to be followed through, cleanup. Okay, just be aware.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, what's okay. Now I'm just gonna check what type of charges you have up right now. That's to make sure I've cleaned up everything. 2 charges, so that you have 2 charges up right now. It's not related to fear. It's not related to God. Focusing your connection to God. You see, that's strong too. Okay. Now, but 2 charges, what is that? Yeah, it is this life. 0, 5, 1, 2, 3. 3 years old. Mother, father, no. The world? Yeah, something about the world. Between you and the world. No one understands me. That's a hard way of living too, thinking no one can understand you or understand you. But you got that when you were 3 years old, which at that age, a lot of people don't understand. You're like, saying blah 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 blah.
Baby talk.
But
Yeah.
you had that emotion, but it lingered on. Hmm?
No, no,
Say it again.
I was saying baby talk. Yeah,
No,
no
no,
one's
you said
talk.
some.
Huh?
Oh, I thought I heard you say. I thought maybe I caught a charge there. Okay,
Oh,
one. Okay, one more charge that you have up. So that was up. Like when I said, "What's up now?" What do you feel? Said, no one understands me.
what
Um,
my hands are vibrating kind of. I don't
shaking
know.
or vibrating?
Huh? They
Shaking
feel
or
kind of
vibrating?
heavy and they're like kind of vibrating. I'm assuming that it's because I'm getting freer and freer. I might start
So do you feel it?
levitating.
Do
Yeah,
you feel
I
lighter?
feel it in my hands.
Because you're holding on to something. That's why. So I'm asking you, what are you holding on to?
Oh, okay.
Something you was 7 years old. What are you holding on to from 7 years old?
Weird. My hands are like heavy and
Holding on to something. I don't know if I got it totally, but let's see. Uh, I can't hold on to the experience of life. So it's almost like you're always behind, and your hands, how are your hands right now? Still something there. I know I didn't clear it completely. You feel anything
there's
released from your hands?
no, they're still very heavy and it's weird. But what was weird is it started, there was a pinch in my neck over here, and then I
Okay.
felt a weird pain in my hand, on my left hand. And then, well, now it's gone. It's gone now.
Okay. Yeah, it's what I was just clearing. Is it gone from your hands?
I think so.
There's a little something I'm going to clean up, but the charge was I can't hold on. That's why your hands were like this to the experience of life. It's almost like you're outside of the experience. So as it's happening to you, you go into your head while you're figuring all these things out in your head, you're missing the experience and you're freaking out and you're like, I can't hold on to the experience, meaning I cannot be present. I can't, I'm all like, and I lived like that myself. This work is what rescued that. That's why I live life differently now. But yeah, I used to be in my head a lot and panic things. You go in your head and you're not really present to experience it. And that's the beauty of this work. And as your mind, you get calmer and you become more present. You're in the now. You stop chasing. You stop anticipating. You just become present, and you are the experience at that point. But it's not something I instill in you, put thoughts in you. It's actually removing the things that are in the way of that. So I can't. That's why your hands are like this. Can't hold on to the experience.
I lost you, Boris. It, it's frozen. I can't hear you. Boris? Boris. Boris.
Yes. My computer.
Oh, the computer died.
Can you turn on your camera?
Okay.
Can you turn on your camera?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we could just do it like that. I've done it like that. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it'll be better
Near the
because
end of it anyway. But I just wanted to. Yeah, it's just my computer. I should have had it plugged in. I didn't. But
don't
okay,
sweat
yeah,
it.
we're pretty much there. Let me just see. Well, what I said. Focus on the charges you have up right now. Yeah, something I missed. Okay, actually, it's the same. I gotta adjust some things here. So it's something still on the experience and not being present. Uh, when I think life, it's not like think about life. It's when I think life, it doesn't happen to me. Do you understand that? When I think life, so you're in your head, and I think life, I think myself within life, like it doesn't have, like life doesn't happen to me.
Like exactly like uh it'll happen to them good things, but it doesn't happen to me.
Yeah. So that was the chart that just cleared. Now focus on what was I looking at? Yeah, the charges you have up right now. See, now you're strong. Yeah, so that was your, that's why I go off of where the person is. That was important to you. It's heavier. Those things were heavier what we worked on before, but this is charges. This is like how you relate, and then you're frustrated and you're creating this static. So this will help you relax into it. Uh, let's see where we are at time wise. I don't want to take. I don't want to go further. I don't think unless you want to. I can continue going somewhere else. But the key for me was today to give you this initial transformation. And let's look at the time. And again, it's up to you. If you want to go, I could always find things and look in different places.
I just want to touch on money. Okay.
Okay.
I'm living paycheck to paycheck. The business with Jay and everything like that. It's grown, but we're still living paycheck to paycheck. I am trying to manifest. I don't need to be a millionaire. I
understand you.
I
I
just
totally understand you.
yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Let's see real quick here. First of all, the work that we just did already is a big aspect of why you were living in such a energy to begin with, right? And you guys attracted each other. And when I saw you right now, and how I know Jay, like the static he was feeling recently, and how I saw static your energy was, you guys were very matching vibrationally. So we just lifted him up. That's why it's great that you're doing this, because we lifted him up. Now you guys are good partners. You're gonna have a different synergy. But let's look a little bit on money, okay? Yeah, it does.
What was that? Those were hard.
Yeah, it just does this thing when you.
That's beautiful, man. Oh yeah, look, you got fireworks behind you now.
Okay, so Yeah, 10 charges on money. Okay, we'll do the most basic question to start with. What is your relationship with money, right? Money is like a thing, it's an energy. You have to understand it, first of all, stop judging it, right? Like, remove all your sort of perceptions of it. It is something, you know. I think the best relationship with money is to be logical with it, you know, not emotional. It's numbers, it's a currency, it's an exchange. The last thing we want is have our emotions involved in it. And it can come in various forms, manifest in your life as a form of energy. And it does. And that's how it seems to work for a lot of people who actually become wealthy. It seems to just present its waves through some source and grow. If you obviously exchanging your time for it, there's no magic in that. You're just busting your ass and you're getting a certain amount in return. That's not really manifestation, although it can manifest some people as a job that they need it to pay bills. That's fine. So, but you're having a relationship with money. So let's see what that is. I don't trust myself with it. Okay. What else? What is your relationship with money? I don't believe it exists in abundance. Okay. Can you hear me well, by the way?
Oh man, I hear you very well and see you much better than on the computer.
Yeah. So I don't like using Zoom, and I was hesitant, and I actually turned on a different cameras on me recording here. I was gonna do a whole session like this, but it's okay. We have some footage with you that way, and you know, I'm gonna take pieces probably for my maybe TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've helped so many people, but I never keep track. It's like a job of its own just to keep this other aspect of it, you know. But I need it. I really need it for promotional purposes, I think. Okay, so I don't believe it exists in abundance. Okay, what else is your relationship with money? 6 charges more. See, you're projecting onto it. It's your reality, and I'm sure you're aware enough how it works. But correcting it is important. You know that you need to think in abundance. You know that. But not with that belief, you can't. I owe everybody money. That's your relationship with it. So when you think of money, you think of debt. Think of debt. Some people think of freedom, joy, whatever they might think. The rich that born into it naturally, or stuff, maybe whatever. But the mindset of, you could always see the people that are wealthy. Besides the bitter people, the bitter are they just through line bitter. But if you take those out, like when you look at people with money, you could see they vibrate differently. And then you question, like, do they vibrate different because they have money, or they have money because they vibrate different? Whatever, catch 22.
Right.
But they're very different with the money. Like they're just softer about it. There's not this rigidness with the money.
That's right. They're not holding on, you know, unless they're like an old bitter, you know, rich person.
It always escapes me. It always escapes me. Yeah, it's just not a way of accumulating. You see? I don't trust myself with it. I don't believe it exists in abundance. I owe everybody money. It always escapes me. 4 more charges. But that alone wouldn't work. You have to clean the person like what we did. Because think of that person with all of that energy there. Like that is not manifesting anything but chaos.
And that's what
like even a rich person, when they start carrying energy like that for whatever reason, they start taking losses.
I understand.
Even the rich people are very like cautious about, you know, the type of energy they mix around, whatever. They know, even though, because they know that's how their wealth and everything accumulates through these good luck, whatever you want to call it, like just, you know. And, you know, they say it's who you hang with and everything. But as you hang around that crowd, too, they could feel whether you have that money energy about you or not. So it all kind of feeds on one another. Okay, so let's see. Your relationship with money. I feel guilty thinking about money. That's a poor mentality as well. Thinking about money. You know what I mean?
And this is in my subconscious, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, this is in your subconscious. It's
Okay.
your relationship with money. Like you get charged about it. When you think about it, you feel guilty thinking about it. Like it's a thing you should not think about. It's always like it's mindset, you know, and a lot of people get brought up with it. Like, don't worry about the money. What's important is this, you know, and then you have this like, I shouldn't think about money. Like you feel guilty when I think about money. Obviously, it's all within measure. You shouldn't be obsessed with money, but you shouldn't feel guilty when you think about money because it's also a very important source of exchange, of energy, of life here. People make God out of it, that's a different thing, but you got to at least cover necessities and live a good life. You shouldn't have excess of anything in the Bible. It says excess is like when people have excess, it's different, you know, but living a good life and being rich, so it's a healthy thing. Being wealthy. In fact, in the Bible, it says, in the Torah, I say Bible, really, it's from the Jewish traditions, that if a person is poor, it's like an illness. Something's missing, something's not well, right? Okay, so let's see. Your relationship with money, 1 charge. I observe it and I cannot get it. You understand?
Oh, yeah. I put that down in my notes. I cannot get ahead. I cannot seem to get ahead.
Okay, so now there, relationship with money is strong. That's the relationship. Now let's see what else. What type of negative emotions you associate to money? Focus on that thought. One charge. Okay. I asked the question a little bit specifically. What is the negative emotion you associate with money? One charge. It lacks love. Whether that's true or not doesn't matter. Don't need that kind of thought. Shouldn't lack anything. It's just exchange. It's a currency. You're just making it emotional like that. Focus on the negative emotion that you associate with money. Strong. Okay. What else we could ask about money? Are you in debt? You in spiritual debt? No. Are you in financial debt? Like, I don't mean like you owe money here. I mean like karmically, like where you owe and they will come to collect. You have that? Yeah, it says yes. Past life, ancestral, past this life. No. I think it might be past life. Let me look real quick. Interesting. Female life. How many generations ago? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 generations ago, female. 5 generations ago. How old were you when you died? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 91. 91. Okay. And see, it says you have a debt there. You owe something from that life. How many charges you still have there on that life? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5. 5 charges, but it relates to money. You were a thief. You were like a gypsy, like a thief, stealing. Female. Yeah. Might have been fortune teller even, like it's a bit strong. It could have been one of those, women, little
crystal ball and bullshitting everybody, conning people.
There you go. I'm getting chills. See how we go to places that are not like why don't I get money? It's always something further down there. That's why God is fair. People don't see all the way through.
No.
Now 6 charges show 6. We got a little closer to it. So conning, right? Conning.
Yeah. Getting ripped off, ripping people off.
We get into this and what we had that past life, because you weren't like a murderer or nothing, but you were like, also it's a type of con almost, like you're the way you were within.
Because I knew what I was doing inside, but they didn't know. They thought I had the best intentions, I'm assuming. And that's so right. They trusted me, and I gave them. Like that with
conning. Conning is like to build a confidence in others. You con them because you build confidence. Con man, confidence man. You build confidence in others, and then they believe you on their side, and then you con them, right? But so you were some sort of a con woman, and you con people out of money, fortune. Ooh, fortune. You stealing energy from them. Wow, you were getting somewhere. This is important, by the way. What I'm getting at right now is more than money. This is continuation of you. Maybe that might have been the life that initially said there were 2.
Exactly, because we only tapped into one.
Yeah, but I didn't know. Sometimes it could go any way direction. It's saying, yeah, it's having resonance with one of those 2 lives. and I was gonna pull back, and you're like, no, keep going. You know what's there. So okay, I'm just following down the path, unwinding this thing. Okay, so conning. Yeah, there's guilt. Wow. And I'm asking, did you die in that life? And you said, no, that's a ghost, which is really interesting. So you died with this sense of unfinished business there. Because you're trying to make a correction. You suffered in that life. I think you did certain things. You started suffering. And I think when you died, you didn't have that correction, so you didn't let go. Because those are ghosts. Like when you say you didn't die, like you don't think you died, and you died of old age. 91 is really, it's old, you know. The only way, the only way to make money is to con people. That was a charge from that life. You were pretty successful at what you were doing. I enjoy taking from people. Again, you're gonna reflect the takers in your life. You're gonna run a pattern like that, you know. 3 more charges. Yeah, I did say 5, but still on track. When you got rid of 2, you got 3 more. Um, everybody owes me. What's interesting with that is it's opposite of the other charge you had, that I owe everybody. That was your relationship with money. And here everybody owes me.
Trip. So I had like an IOU system going on in that life or something.
Here, in this life.
In this life.
But in that life, when you were conning people, you felt everybody owes you. You felt entitled.
Mm.
That's why you lived with, like, look at the patterns of these charges. The only way to make money is to con people. I enjoy taking from people, and everybody owes me. It's very arrogant and entitled.
Mm-hmm.
There's no guilt there, nothing. It's just you living like in the taking kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And I arrived at this life by saying, do you owe? Do you have karmic debt?
And I do, just like from the other life. That's why that stuff happened to me when I was a kid.
That's right. But this is relation to money.
Right.
And all of these lives are intertwined, because within 2 hours, this is what we do, is what we cover. This is the chunk. This is all related somehow. And that's why you bring these things up. You say first, like, you didn't start with money. You said, this happened to me when I was 6. And then we did that. And then now it's like, and money. Okay. It's on your mind. This is where you're at. Okay. 1, 2 more charges. And after I clear them, like when I asked the question, I said, "Do you feel people owe you still?" No. See, that's gone. That's the thing. Once you reverse that, I go fast. If I had years ago, I used to push on people's arms. That's how my teacher did it, and that's how I initially did it. And then I used to have somebody push on my arm when I did my personal work. And then I learned how to read fingers, and I was doing my own work. And then I realized I can really read people so well because it's accurate on my fingers as much as it is on their arm. It's the same energy, and it saves people their arm. Plus, I'm able to do it over Zoom.
That's right. And that's the quantum physics we were discussing on the phone the other day.
Yes.
You know, you touch
Yeah,
one particle.
in the now.
What's that?
You're running these programs in the now. Like all of these things, they're in the now, but they're pulling you out of being in the now because you're actually taken elsewhere to live out these imaginary circumstances from memories, right?
Exactly. And the now is a very challenging place I've dealt with my whole life, right? We went over that. I'm always living in the future or the past. Now I've trained myself and I've worked on it and I've gotten a lot better, but I still when I they told me when I got sober, they said, you got to live in the now, Lawrence. It's like I don't even know what they meant by that. Does that make sense? And
Of course, it makes sense. Nobody can teach you this. As like the people will say, just be present, just clear your mind. It's all in your head, and it's just thoughts. And look, nothing is real in this life. It's all just atoms. Yeah, but hey, listen, the experience is otherwise. We know this is a wall you cannot go through. At least I don't know how.
right,
You know?
right.
Okay, let's focus.
Yeah.
Did I clear something? Didn't write it down? Everybody owes me. Okay, hold on. Where are we at? How many charges do you have? One. It says one.
Good.
Did I just clear something and didn't write it down?
You said you said that uh, everybody. No, you were saying in the other life when I was a female that I felt entitled. I have a big ego, and I got off on conning people.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, I can always send you these writings. I'll take a photo of them, and you could review them later and see. They don't hold the same weight anymore when you're gonna read them, obviously, and that's a good thing. But you
Yes.
could still see the story. Okay, let me see. Focus it on money. Okay, your karmic debt. One, two. Did you die in that life? Oh, now you say you did. Okay, interesting. So you wouldn't leave. You wouldn't want to leave that life because you still felt people owing you at the end. So maybe you turned evil after people robbed you. Perhaps I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I have to give it back. I don't know what it was that you stole, but I have to give it back, and I refuse to. So it was stubbornly you were holding on to something that wasn't yours. I don't know. Again, I don't see things in full detail, but I do feel emotion behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to understand, but it's more or less of that nature. You had something, you possessed something, you stubbornly were holding on, saying, "No, I'm not going to give it back." But you knew it wasn't yours to keep. My computer just turned back on, but it doesn't matter now. Hope it saved that Zoom before it. Probably did. What if it didn't? That would suck.
Oh
That's
no.
okay. I am still recording myself. And we can hear you probably in the mic. Okay, so let's see. Focus on that past life. One more charge. There's one more. I'm almost there with it. So you still have karmic debt? Says no. So that's good. It's already stronger. That's out. Not karmic. Karmic is overall financially in relation to finances. Like it's like where you're gonna be collecting. Giving you. How is it? Pay back that you have to pay back. It was one particular person actually. I think you were dealing with, not family, a friend. She went poor because of me. That's what it was. Yeah, now it's strong. Someone else to do it? No. So you holding on to this emotion. I have to give it back and I refuse to. And you saw somebody because of you go live their life poor entire life. But you did it somehow to somebody. I don't know. Again, I don't know details fully what went on.
I caused their poverty.
Yes, I caused their poverty. Exactly. It's like I said, focus on it. You're still breaking. I caused their suffering because of poverty. Because beyond the poverty, there was a lot of suffering that person went through. Because their suffering. Because of poverty. I caused their suffering because of poverty. Now it's strong. Someone's still doing it now. This is it. Okay, that's good. Okay. Money could be looked from different perspectives, but this is kind of a good place to start for sure. Let me see what else. You have karmic debt financially? No. Your relationship with money now is strong. Focus on the currency of money, currency. There's one charge with currency. It's a movement, the way it moves, currency, current. It moves past me, never with me. Never with me. This is the currency. Currency. You understand? It moves past me. So it's experience again. You're behind, like past. It moves past me, never with me. Like being on the wave. It's only like the wave moves past you, rather than you being with. Okay, so that's your relationship. That's on currency. That's good now. It's strong. As a currency, as a way of. What else I could look at here? I'm checking greed. Focus on greed. No problem. You don't have an issue with that. Focus on gambling. Sometimes there's an energy, how you gamble money, your investments. Focus on it. Investments. Gambling.
I did this with myself recently, so I knew what to go after, and I just cleared it. I'm gambling from the grave. I'm gambling. I had this charge myself, gambling from the grave.
What does
That's a
that
good
mean?
one.
What does that mean?
When you think about gambling, because I was looking at gambling because I was looking at investments, playing with the market, stock market, and the guy said you have to kill the gambler inside you. So I said that's a good one. Let me look at my gambler inside me. And when I went deeper with it, I saw, that life decisions, when you're gambling with life, ultimately, and money can be that way because it's livelihood and it can really, but you go extreme, like always with the charges, you go to deeper, darker places. So, the darker place is like when you make the wrong move, you could die and you could be in a grave. So when you think about ahead of you getting ahead, you're like, I'm already dead, like the choices I made. So I'm gambling from the grave.
Mm,
It's deep. It's actually real deep. I got it quickly but I came to this thought, with myself.
mm,
So I just had and I did that for you. Yeah, it holds a deeper perspective where it comes from. I'm gambling from the grave. It's like the ultimate outcome, worst outcome. Well, I don't know. It's not the worst. You could, God forbid, experience suffering of loved ones. That could be very bad. I don't know what's worse. That might be worse than grave itself.
mm,
But this is So I actually had to get rid of that one for you. Yeah, I experienced the suffering of my loved ones, of the loved ones. That's how, again, I'm gambling, and gambling having to do with choices, investments, because he's right. You have a gambler inside you, the person that is either really calculated who makes the decisions and knows won't not lose no matter what, because you have a very, that's how it is with the stock, with the market. You could really play less greedy, put stop losses a certain way, and you could play less greedy, less risky,
less risk.
and then you could also like really be like, oh, I got this, and really just, but then you kind of, you go and be gambling. I felt that feeling on a motorcycle. You could go really fast, but if you're in an open lane, you don't feel like you're gambling. You just focus. But if you're going through like a small block and you speed up even as much as 30 miles an hour, and any kid can run out with a ball or anything, you're gambling. You don't know, like you're risky, and you have a sense of uncertainty when you're going through that block, because you speed up beyond your control. Because God forbid something comes out, you have no time to stop. So you're gambling, and it's like that with money. You could take calculated risks and you can gamble. And the gambling can go as far as losing life, as far as people you love losing life, God forbid. You invest with the wrong people, they come to collect. God knows what. You piss off the wrong people, find it, who knows? So it holds its risks on the ultimate, like when you're dealing with lots of money, imagine millions, billions, right? There's a lot of different consciousness wakes up. So we can work through that also as it reveals more. So I can only understand certain perspectives until something really surfaces for you. Then I can look at it
Mm-hmm.
and push through it. Boom, and you master things that way. Okay, so gambling. Focus on gambling. Pretty strong. One more charge there. Let me clear that. That was beautiful work I just recently did. And it really pertains to money. Money is market. Look, market drops, the whole economy drops. Market is everything on so many levels.
Oh yeah.
So that's why when you look at investing, and investing, by the way, yeah, what you invest into, and financially, yeah, see, investing, two charges there. Investing financially. Uh, My investments have no financial reward. My investments have no reward. Clear that. That's just, again, the way you view yourself. It's not actuality. It's just how you, self-perception. It's like saying I'm a loser. You know, it's another way of saying that. Like, my investments have no financial reward. It's not a normal casual thing like, yeah, I just put a little money there, bang, I succeed, boom, put them, blah, blah, life experience, like just looking for that opportunity, you know, I'm gonna boom, boom, like a person looking at a dip in the market, boom, rides that way up. But instead having this scary relationship with it, like they don't have return on my, I don't get the return on my investments.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't make the decision. That's like being outside of the experience again. I don't make the decisions. I don't make these conscious choices. I'm like, it's like being a victim. Like I'm just, it's not up to me. It's much nicer when you have that control. I feel like wealthy people have a certain amount of control. They don't control it all. They manifest opportunities, but they come at things with calculation.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the business plan, that's why they know by this point I invest this much, this expense, this, that, minus that, boom. That's why by the end of the year, it's what I should be. But then this. So I don't make decisions, you know, like, again, that's why I clear that. With investments, I don't make decisions. Okay, now strong investments. I focus on gambling. One more chart on gambling. I have fear of missing out. You know, what they call that? Fear of missing out. FOM.
FOMO.
I have
FOMO. I know. Somebody told me that, or my wife, I heard her say that or something. I have FOMO.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's anxiety. That's like when you have the timing, you know, to jump in, you know, when you're jumping rope as a kid, and you have the timing, you like, and you jump. But if the whole time you're thinking, oh shit, it's gonna hit my legs, it's gonna hit my legs, it's gonna hit my leg, and then you have the hesitation, and then you jump and it hits your leg, you know?
Exactly.
That's what fear of missing out is. It's just like you're living with this sense of panic rather than watching the timing with a quiet mind, ready to step right at the right time. And not be greedy, know when to pull back.
That's right.
You know, the fear of missing out is when people wait for it to go so far and then they missed out on taking profits at the right time.
That's right.
Rather than having calculated, non-greedy point of action or whatever you call that. Okay, let's see. Okay, focus on gambling. Now it's strong. There it is. That's the gambling, fear of missing out. So that should be a lot calmer. We covered some good points with you in relation to money. We could look at it furthermore.
What about this, Boris? How are you feeling? Because let me tell you one thing is that when we got disconnected, right? I looked at the clock and it was 2 hours. It felt like 20 minutes or something, man. Time was bizarre. 2 hours. We were talking for 2 hours. I couldn't believe it. So I don't know what that's all about. That's a beautiful thing. The second thing is that I want to make sure that you're okay. You know, like
I'm good. I'm good. I feel good.
Your energy is good. There's one last thing I wanted to touch on, if we can, uh, is music. When I came into this world, I knew that that was my path, was to play music and not be like famous. I'm not interested in being an entertainer. I'm just an artist. I'm a singer songwriter. I've always been. I played in many bands. I played a lot of shows, this, that, and the other. But you know, I have a lot. I had stage fright. I used to have a drink before I go on stage. Blah blah blah. All of that. But I right now I have two projects. One's in LA. Right before I left LA, right before I moved, I went into the studio, sang my heart out. We were doing a project, and then the guitarist, his mother had cancer, so we never finished the project. And now, just out of the blue, he contacted me and says he wants to finish it. The second project I have is in New Orleans, another guitarist. I went down there when I had COVID and I was deathly ill, and I did everything, put the guitar down, blah blah blah. And I'm trying to say is that it seems like everything that I try to do with music, I can never get it accomplished. I can never document what I'm trying to express. Does that make sense? I have not been able to document and give the songs justice.
What I would rather do with you.
Yeah.
I would rather not go there today.
Okay.
Because a lot of things you're talking about are interrelated to the work we did today. So what I want to do is rather let you settle this in, what we did.
Investigate.
It doesn't all have to get covered today. And I like to also reapproach things with a fresh mind, fresh intention and energy, because the bulk that was needed to be done was what we did. And the other part, we can come back and do it. And they may just need an hour. You know, maybe you'll have other things you want to do at the same time. It's fine. But when I checked your issue that you're describing right now, for instance, I didn't even check. I just intuitively can tell. When I say focus on it, how many charges there? One, two. It's like 2 charges. It's not. I think you were talking about what you just. I even said focus on stage fright and you're strong, because I think there was a lot of things we covered today that are part of that experience, and you just like still speaking about something that 2 hours ago you were a different guy, you know. So
I understand.
Let's wrap it up. It's not because I don't want to do it and I can take more of your money. That's not the point of this. I'd rather just let you integrate what we did, and then we will revisit from the new place. And I want to see what what your changes are, what you experience, and what you need, because I'm just gonna surface like, little things are gonna go now. I don't know that that's important right now.
Right, because it might already be resolved.
It could be resolved. It could be, honestly,
because of all the things that you've done.
And now the energy feels a lot more settled, and that's how I go. I just clean up stuff. Like you have a specific job and you stir things up and you clean them. And then later you have other areas we could dig, we'll go deeper, we'll awaken new energy.
I understand.
But not now. I don't recommend we do that right now.
I
feel pretty good about what we did.
I'm so grateful, Boris. I'm so grateful. I can't tell you.
You're welcome.
I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe this is happening for me. You know, like my whole thing is like, take care of others, as long as my wife and my son are taken care of, I can go without, that kind of thing, that mentality. And I do truly, I learned to love myself more as the years went on. Before I was reckless and I didn't really love myself. I didn't even know what that meant. But the point is that I'm just so grateful for this moment, for this experience. I believe what happened is going to affect my physical reality. I know this to be true because I know a lot more than I used to know, even though I thought I knew everything. But I can't thank you enough. And I'm so grateful. How do I pay you? Do you take Venmo, PayPal? Can I do PayPal? Can I, friends and family, send you PayPal?
Yeah, do it that way. Yeah, PayPal totally works. I'll send you my email. It's Night Leopard. Night like with a K. Night shining armor.
Uh-huh.
Night Leopard.
Night leopard. You are a freaking night leopard.
Night Leopard at Gmail.
Okay.
Leopard because that's my spirit animal, my physical, my soul. Like I'm a leopard. People are different animals. I'm a leopard. I'm feline, and night is what I do. Really the spiritual format.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Nightleopard at gmail.com. You'll find, but I can also, email, text you to make sure if you want to.
Yes, please send it to me. And then I might have to send you, how much does this cost, by the way? Jay?
Let me see, that's what I want to see. So it's 2:00 now.
Yeah.
And we started, let me see what time I texted you. I said I was ready. I sent it. Okay. Yeah, so I said to you, I sent it. This was at 11:15. You sent it at 11:15. Yeah, and then about 5 minutes later, you signed in. So 11:20. Probably 11:20. Let me see what. Let's do like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah, 2.5 hours is good.
Okay. That's fantastic. So Jay didn't tell me how much you charge. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought he told, okay. Yeah, at $200 an hour. So it would be 500.
Okay. Now I might have to send you a payment, 2 payments, one PayPal and then maybe Zelle or something. Do you?
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. And this is, like I said, this is not something reoccurring. You don't have to keep revisiting and doing this. So you're actually doing permanent work, and you may need a follow-up session as far as this goes, particular topic, what you're dealing with, maybe an hour, depends on what you feel it will surface. But I feel like we did a really, really good cleanup for you, and you're going to watch things grow in a positive way, and you're gonna see.
I'll be contacting you, man. I'll be sending you a text. Look what happened.
Forward to that. I'm looking forward to that.
And you can use me if I get the physical reality results, you can share that with others.
I would love to.
So you can build up your
Yeah,
your
maybe you could do for me like later, record your feedback on what you're experiencing. This is gonna be really interesting.
Yeah. I can do
that in relation.
I can do that, and then you can have that, because testimonial and reviews, our business, Jay and I, everything's on reviews. You know that reviews.
Yes,
You go on Yelp and you go to a restaurant. If it has a bunch of reviews, you'll go down and you'll knock on the door.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, and I did give you a discount, right? Normally I'm 300, but even 300 is my discount rate from 500, which is where I should be. But people can't afford that. A lot of people can't.
Boris, thank you.
So yeah, I'm doing $200 is like for a friend. I feel like it's good. So
I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I am so thankful, and we're going to try to get you more clients.
I love it.
We are. I have one person one of the guitarists in New Orleans, and he's accumulated God only knows what. He has Italian and Irish blood in him. He has a temper like freaking, he's a beautiful soul. Like he'll take the shirt off of his back, but he has past lives. He has things. He told me things like he had a serpent. He saw a serpent going through him when he got out of the shower one time. I mean, all this crazy stuff. And he's had orbs in his room. He's recorded it and everything. So he
got some portals to close down.
Yeah, he's serious, and he's a beautiful soul. He just has these issues that he doesn't know how to get rid of, and he would be a perfect a perfect client for you.
Yeah. Absolutely. And wait till you see your results.
I
Same
will.
thing, I was getting off the phone with Jason. He was feeling better, but he didn't really realize what happened to him until like later. He was like, so yeah. I want you to really, you'll see. I want you to step away and just watch.
Oh, I will, because I know that I have a knowing and you have a knowing that we got results here.
Definitely.
We're gonna see some amazing results. So I can't thank you enough. I don't want to take any more of your time. Have a blessed day to you and your family. Oh, last thing I want to ask you is, you live in LA, right?
Yeah.
Whereabouts, may I ask? Hollywood. Okay. So if I ever come there, I'm gonna let you know, and I'd like to take you guys out to dinner, like break some bread, and take you out to dinner and just get to know each other. And if you have the time and you're
absolutely, and I would love to get to know you. Definitely. I didn't want to do it during your session, but absolutely. And ideally, I want to come out to Hawaii. I want to see you guys, and it'd be great if we could gather a bit of a group to do a ceremony. That could be great.
Oh, you know what? Jay's supposed to do this thing we created, Clarity Healing Retreats. Now, it's not a new thing. There's retreats everywhere, but Jay has the power. He was supposed to probably heal people here on this earth. I've always felt that he just gave away all of his power because he had all these issues.
Oh yeah.
And now maybe we can start this Clarity Healing Retreat. Maybe you can come with us, and we go to a resort, and you change people's lives, and everyone's blown away, and everyone's blessed in the transference and the transaction.
Absolutely. And that's what this is. This is real transformation. This is real reconnection with God. This is real quietness of the mind, and this is real power. This is such a amazing thing. That's why I love it so much in my own life, because it gives you that. It gives you that real thing that you want to experience in a spiritual way.
Yes.
And but the medicine too. Yeah, I work with the beautiful medicine.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah, it's actually mimosa, and but I say ayahuasca because that's what people are familiar with. But it's mimosa actually. Mimosa hostilis, root bark, and Syrian rue.
Okay.
And it's more, you could say it's ayahuasca experience because it's the same in its nature, but she's the strictest sister, the one I'm working with.
Okay, yeah, because I saw something on that where it's certain plants that are they put them together and it creates a synergistic relationship.
In ayahuasca, you have two plants: chacuna leaf and ayahuasca vine. Chacuna has DMT, and the vine is the inhibitor. And it doesn't give you visions, but it is an emotional experience with the vine as well. But together, that's what gives you this visions, very powerful visions, and a feeling of dying also, because you go so deep in the spirit world. With mimosa hostilis root bark, it has the DMT instead of the leaf, so you get it from the root bark. And it's known for people smoking DMT. It comes from the mimosa.
Okay.
It's not the only place to derive DMT from, but it's in large amounts in mimosa, so it's used for that. And as an inhibitor, instead of the vine, you use Syrian rue seeds. So you're using the seed, which I think also is very significant. Everything comes from the seed.
Mm-hmm. The source.
Yeah. And it is more Middle Eastern version, like it comes from Middle East, the Syrian rue. Syrian rue by itself, people used to smoke it, and it could have tremendous psychedelic effects if it's taken in large amounts. But for the sake of the ceremony, you don't take it in large amounts. You take enough to create the inhibitor and the depth of the experience, and then the DMT does the work. So it's very much like ayahuasca in a way of the DMT experience that people are after. So there's not much of a difference, but she's more vivid, more honest, more strict, and the healing is longer lasting. So I choose to work with that plant, not because it's easy, but it's because it's not like it's better. Like
it's sacred. It's like sacred or something.
It's what Moses would have been doing.
I see.
And it's also it just feels more accurate, more clarity. Like with ayahuasca, you can go places and you want to come back sometimes. The intensity can be strong. But the visions, you can oftentimes can say, like, as clear as they are, they could be a little vague. But when you do it with this plant, there's no vagueness. It's so sharp, so vivid, so not mistaking. Like, that's what it is. That's why I learned certain things early on with this plant about the spirit world, and there was no mistaking. It's like it was showing me things with absolute clarity, like, here, that is what it is. And you're just like, oh wow, it's very humbling. And then when I'm drinking ayahuasca, I see a lot, and I've done a lot of work with it. But there's almost like sometimes it's not so on point clear. Like I see it because I can make sense of it, but it's not as vivid.
I see.
Visually, it could be like, wow, like colors, this sacred geometry, yeah. But like when the spirit showed up to me with mimosa, it like addressed me, and it was like in my face, and it was like, that's when I am. That's what, and people will experience that with ayahuasca. That's why I don't like to underestimate either. It's not the point. Just the point is, it's something special with mimosa, and people who do it, they know it. They know it.
Beautiful.
Okay?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, Boris, I don't want to take any more of your time. I appreciate you.
No, it's my pleasure. Yeah, you're very welcome. Let's be in touch. Just let it integrate, and then just you'll know. Write me whenever you get some feedback. If you have some negative reactions too, you may feel some emotions. I don't know. We'll see what happens, because sometimes new things will surface. Let me know that as well.
Okay.
Sometimes people will suddenly feel certain sadness will come about, or aggression, or whatever, because something surfaced that was hidden before. That could happen.
Okay.
So if it does, just let me know about that. We'll address it and we'll level it. So regardless, it just builds on what we already did. Or it may not happen that way. We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. We will see. Regardless, it's how it should be. It should go through this transformation.
Fantastic.
Stay in touch. Let me.
I will. Love and light to you, Boris. Thank you so much.
You too. You too.
Take
You're
care.
very welcome.
Okay.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Ciao. Wow.